everyone, welcome to the new class. In this class we are going to discuss about types of plan and the process of planning. If you haven't gone through the previous video, please go to the description. In description there is a link given and you can go to the entire previously classes. So let's start with the topic. So what are the types of plan? So there are basically three types of plan. The number one is known as single-use plan. Then there are standing plans and contingency plans. What are the single-use plan? Single-use plans are attaining a one-time organizational goal, large in scope. Examples: building a new headquarters, installing a new accounting system. Projects are included in this category of plan. So single-use plan are those plans which are basically designed for one-time organizational goal. They are specifically designed for the one-time used, and they are non-recurrent in nature. They can be projects, or there can be those plans which are large in scopes, like building a new headquarters or installing a new accounting systems. So they are non-recurring, and they are strategic plan. They are decided by the top level of management. Then we have standing plans. Standing plans are ongoing plans that are used to provide guidance for tasks performed repeatedly within an organization. So these plans are recurrent in nature. They are basically guidelines. They are procedures which are responsible for performing any task in the organization, such as policy building. Like there are sexual harassment policy in the organization. Then there are broad. They are basically broad. They are based on the organizational goal. They have defined the boundaries in which they has to make the decisions. Like the rules are also known as standing plans. The rules are basically narrow in nature. They define specific action. Then we have procedures like employee grievance. They are also the standing plans, defining precise series of steps to attaining certain goal. Then we have contingency plans that define company response to specific situation, for example emergencies or unexpected conditions. Like we have reserves for the unexpected conditions, for emergencies. So those plans which are especially designed for contingencies or the situational or different situations, those plans are known as contingency plans. Steps in planning process. So what are the steps which are involved in the planning process? So there are steps like, first of all, we have to do the analysis of internal environment as well as external environment. So we will we will go for the external environment. For external environment, see, this is the planning process. These are the steps which are involved in the planning process. So what are the external environment for any organization? Government, the legal boundaries, the society the business is organizing and is operating in, the state in which the government is the companies is operating. Those type of environment is known as external environment. Then what are the internal environment? Internal environment are environments which are being designed within the organization itself, like creditors, like debtors, which are associated directly with the organization. Those environment is known as internal environment, or that environment is known as internal environment. Like employees within the organization, the different stakeholders such as creditors, debtors, etc. Then we have to determine the mission. After analyzing both of these environment, we have to determine the mission of the business. I have already told you in the previous lecture that what is the mission statement. That is the same thing we have to do here. Then we have to determine the objectives. What are the different objectives we need to perform? Then we also have to forecast that what are the forecasting, how we are going to perform in the future. That is forecasting. We also have to analyze about the various threats, the strength of the organization, the opportunities. So we have to do the SWOT analysis here. Then we have to determine the alternative course of action, like what are the alternatives which are available. Then we have to evaluate each and every alternative. After evaluating each alternatives, we have to select the best alternative. How we can select the best alternatives? We have to give the criteria to each and every alternative. I have already explained that in the decision making process, that how we choose any decision for the organization. We identify all the alternatives, then we give the weight to each and every alternative, and then we calculate that which is the best alternative. On the basis of that course of action, we formulate our policy or we choose that alternative. Then establishing the sequence of activity. After choosing the alternative, we have to analyze that what are the sequence of activities need to be performed in order to accomplish that goal. So we have to create the establishment between those sequence of activities. After that, we have to formulate the action program. What is the meaning of that? Like, what are the actions has to be taken in order to complete those activities? Then we have to review. After that, the entire process of planning will be done. After that, we have to review the planning process and we have to set the goal. And after setting the goal, we also have to collect the feedback from various parties which are involved in the planning process. Like, if we are planning for something, we are implementing that plan to someone, then we have also gathered the feedback from that person that whether he is satisfied with the plan or not. So this is the entire planning process. I hope you got this topic very well. So if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much. Keep on watching, keep on learning.